Whether you're planning a short trip to Germany or relocating there, it's helpful to be aware that some of the well-known facts about the place may not actually be all that accurate. Either they're stereotypes and not true at all, or they used to be true but now your information is out of date. And that can cause problems. For example, if your image of Germany is of a land of limitless beer, but you book your hotel in a famous wine-growing area, you might be setting yourself up for a disappointment. Well, fear not, because I've compiled a list of 5 things about Germany that you probably have the wrong idea about. Ready? Let's go! Germany is more than just mountains and castles. If you simply glance over a few tourist guides and travel blogs, you might easily get the impression that this is what Germany is like. And it's true, these are all photos taken in Germany, but Germany has so much more to offer. So here is a quick montage of other places, all in Germany. From the majestic Alps in the south to the wide-open plains in the north and everything in between, Germany has so much variety. History can be found not only in the romantic castles of the Rhine Gorge, but further downstream in the former industrial heartlands. And with the varied landscapes, there are differences in the way of life, the food, the traditions, and so on. Germany is not one homogeneous blob of German mess, but a patchwork of different cultural groups that have basically one thing in common. They're all taught the same language at school. But that leads me on to my next point. Distances in Germany are greater than you might think. Now, this might come as a surprise if you come from a country like the US, because, well, we all know just how tiny European countries are. Well, they are small, but Germany is one of the larger ones. It's about the size of Montana, which is big enough that if you plan your itinerary badly, you can spend more time traveling than doing almost anything else. I've said it before and I'll say it again. Don't just bounce around from city to city. It's very tempting to think that Berlin and Munich are just a quick drive from each other, but you could easily spend most of the day just sitting in a car or a train in order to get from one to the other. Now, this may seem obvious to most of you, but just to be absolutely certain about this, Germans do not usually dress up in lederhosen and dirndls. I mean, sometimes they do, but it's not common. Apart from anything else, the stereotypical traditional German dress originally comes from Bavaria, specifically rural Bavaria south of Munich, which is a very tiny part of Germany. And while for many people it is just the thing for a folk festival, it's not usually expected that everybody dresses up. It is true that modern versions of traditional dress are making something of a comeback, particularly in Bavaria, but it is just an option. It's simply that it's convenient to have a nice outfit for special but informal occasions like festivals. One thing that is often said is that in Germany, cash is king. Now, I'm not going to say that this is a lie. It is true that cash is still a very important part of most Germans' daily lives, but you're not going to have to carry huge wads of banknotes around with you everywhere you go. These days, cashless payments are possible in more and more stores and restaurants, although not so much at market stalls and food trucks and so on. If you're a tourist, you can probably manage without cash most of the time. If you do need cash, you can use a credit card to get some from an ATM. Also, at most supermarkets, if you pay by card, you can withdraw cash there as well. You have to make a minimum purchase, obviously, but when you get to the checkout, you present your card and just say that you'd also like to take some cash. Finally, and I'm sorry to disappoint you here, but not everything in Germany works smoothly. The idea that in Germany nothing can ever go wrong thanks to German engineering and German efficiency is sadly something of a myth. In my experience, Germany is about average. In fact, a lot can go very wrong. At the moment, for example, the rail network is running let's say, less than perfectly. I mean, you'll probably think it a dream if you're comparing it with Amtrak, but if you're used to Japanese trains, then you're in for a bit of a shock. I mean, it's not disastrous, certainly not as bad as some Germans will tell you. My life usually ticks over reasonably well. But Germany is no different from any other country, and you cannot rely on everything going exactly the way that you planned it. And with that, you have reached the end of the list. It only remains for me to say I hope you found this video helpful, and thank you for watching. Okay, so I actually have just above my head a skylight, and I think it's starting to hail. I'm really annoyed by this loud banging noise right by my right ear. I can't wait for it to stop.